You walk into any electronics store, bright aisles, cold floors, screens glowing like tiny universes waiting to be chosen. And for a moment, you stand still. Because every TV is calling your name without making a sound. One screen blinds you with brightness, another whispers with shadows, and somehow, both look right until they don't. This is the moment most shoppers make the wrong decision. Not because they choose the wrong TV, but because they misunderstand what their home is trying to tell them. Every year, homes get smarter, but the decisions, they get harder. Mini LED, OLED, two technologies, two philosophies, two completely different experiences, yet somehow competing for the same space on your wall. And before you know it, you're staring at your reflection inside a sea of screens, wondering which one understands your life better. Because this isn't just about brightness or contrast. It's about how you live, how you watch, how your home breathes around the picture on the wall. But let's slow down. Let's start where clarity actually begins. Not in a lab, not in a showroom, but in the real world, your world. Picture this. It's a quiet morning. The curtains are half open. Sunlight slips into the room like it knows its way around your furniture. Your kid's toy car is parked sideways under the TV stand, the one you keep forgetting to pick up. Your dog sighs on the rug after failing to catch a shadow. Your coffee is warm, but no longer hot. This is where your TV actually lives, not in the neon glow of a storefront, but in a space full of real life, real brightness, real distractions. In this world, Mini LED wakes up like a spotlight, confident, loud, impossible to ignore. It cuts through daylight like it was designed for it. You don't close your curtains, you don't squint, you don't fight reflections. It simply shows up and does the job. OLED is different. It doesn't shout. It waits. It thrives when the room settles, when the day slows down, when the lights dim and you exhale after a long day. At night, OLED becomes something else entirely. Quiet, cinematic, almost alive. The blacks disappear, the shadows deepen, and scenes feel like memories instead of pixels. Mini LED says, "Look at me." OLED says, "Feel this." Two strengths, two worlds, two ways of seeing. But that's the trick most shoppers never realize. You're not choosing a TV. You're choosing which version of your life you want reflected back at you. Because TVs aren't neutral anymore. They have personalities. They behave differently depending on the room, the mood, the moment. Imagine watching a space movie. Mini LED gives you blazing stars, bright, sharp, dramatic. OLED gives you infinity, darkness so pure you forget where the screen ends. Now switch to a Saturday afternoon. Sunlight bouncing off the floor, kids running between frames, a football game playing with the volume too, low but the excitement somehow still there. Mini LED shines here. OLED does okay, but okay isn't why you buy OLED. And yet, here's the truth no salesperson dares to say aloud. Most people don't know which one fits their life until after they've already bought the wrong one. Because the store is not your home. Its lighting isn't your lighting. Its walls aren't your walls. Its noise isn't your noise. The store is an illusion. Your home is the reality. And every decision should be made inside that reality, not in the artificial glow of iHal 7. That's why this guide matters. Not to sell you a screen, but to remind you what most reviewers forget. Specs don't matter if they don't match your life. You don't watch TV in perfect darkness every night. You don't watch in a sun-blasted room every day. You live somewhere in between, messy, imperfect, beautifully human, and the right TV should blend into that rhythm, not fight against it. So let's go deeper. Let's break down the light, the darkness, the movement, the risks, the realities, not as engineers, not as marketers, but as people living in homes that are gloriously imperfect. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which technology isn't just better, but which one is better for you. And that begins with one question most shoppers never ask themselves, the one that flips the entire decision on its head. When most people don't realize how much that single question shapes everything. Morning watchers, afternoon watchers, late night watchers, each one lives in a different universe of light, and TVs behave differently in each universe. Think about your own routine. Maybe you're the type who turns the TV on while making breakfast, toast popping, water boiling, sunlight spilling into the living room like it owns the place. In that world, Mini LED wakes up first. It's bright, bold, unafraid of reflections dancing across the screen. OLED, in that same moment, looks shy. Still waking up, still stretching, still figuring out how to compete with the morning sun. But when the day finally slows, everything changes. Maybe you're someone who waits until the kids fall asleep. The lamps go off one by one, the house exhales, and for the first time all day, the room becomes quiet enough to feel like yours again. This is where OLED steps forward. Not loudly, not dramatically, but confidently. Like a performer waiting for the right cue. It turns the room into a theater without asking permission. Black levels so deep, the screen disappears. Colors glowing with a softness that feels emotional instead of technical. And shadows that look like they were painted with intention. Mini LED tries hard at night, and sometimes, honestly, it looks great. But you can always sense that the light behind the picture is still burning, still pushing, still glowing from a place it shouldn't. That's the thing about backlights. Even when they dim, they don't disappear. And sometimes you notice a halo, a light blooming where darkness should be resting. Not enough to ruin the moment, but enough to remind you you're looking at a screen instead of slipping inside the story. But here's the twist. Real life doesn't always give you perfect darkness, or controlled lighting, or movie night consistency. Sometimes the ceiling light is still on because someone forgot to switch it off. Sometimes your toddler presses every remote button except the one that turns the TV on. Sometimes your dog decides the exact center of the room, right in front of the screen, is the ideal place to take a nap. And sometimes a bright toy somehow rolls under the TV and glows like a tiny spaceship in the corner of your vision. Real homes have imperfections, and any TV you buy has to survive inside that chaos. Mini LED thrives in chaos. Bright living rooms, unpredictable lighting, family noise, random flashes of daylight. OLED thrives in calm, quiet nights, movie hours, moments where the world pauses long enough for you to breathe and let the picture hold your attention. But let's talk movement, because that's where things get interesting. Gamers already know the whispers. OLED is fast, instant. Like every pixel is listening before you speak. No blur, no ghosting, no delay between what your fingers do and what your eyes see. Mini LED is good, sometimes very good, but it's still dealing with a backlight system that must catch up with what's happening on screen. For casual gaming, Mini LED is more than enough. Bright worlds, colorful menus, no burn-in fear lurking in your mind. For fast, competitive gaming, OLED feels sharper than reality. But here's the part most people forget. Longevity isn't the same for both. OLED has improved its protections. Pixel shifting, screensavers, compensation cycles. But if you watch the same news channel every day, or leave static menus on screen for hours, you will still have that tiny thought in the back of your mind. Is this going to leave a mark? Mini LED never asks that question. It doesn't care what you watch or how long. It isn't sensitive. It isn't fragile. It doesn't remember images the way OLED might. But this is where perspective matters. Because most people don't watch in extreme patterns. They watch casually. They switch channels. They play different games. They let screensavers do their job. Burn-in fear is real. But so is the fact that modern OLEDs are built to survive normal life. And that brings us to the truth most reviewers talk around, but never actually say. Neither technology is better. But one of them is better for you. Because every living room tells a different story. Some rooms are bright, loud, alive, full of daylight, conversation, footsteps, interruptions. Other rooms are slow, quiet, deliberate, the kind of spaces where watching a movie feels like an escape instead of a routine. And the wrong TV in the right room will always disappoint you, while the right TV in the right room will feel like magic. It's not about specs. It's not about brand loyalty. It's not about picking the most expensive thing on the shelf. It's about listening to the room you already live in. By now, you're starting to see the pattern. Mini LED and OLED aren't rivals. They're characters, each with strengths and weaknesses that matter depending on the world you place them in. But there's one last piece of this puzzle. One that flips the entire decision from tech choice to lifestyle choice. And to see it clearly, you have to step back and ask, what do you want your TV to feel like? Do you actually watch TV?